And hello, everyone. This is Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate all of you. Hit the subscribe button. That's a great way to get the notifications when we go live. But it is Wednesday. It's time for TBD. What's it going to be about? I don't know. That's what our hosts are going to tell us right now. We've got Adrien Warner and Jess Surbaugh. Jess, hello to you first. How you doing?
Hey, Greg. I'm wonderful. It's a little dreary, but I'm hanging in there. How about yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, not bad. It is dreary, but I'll take that over fires. So that's good. Going from Jess, we also have Adrien Warner. Hello, Adrien. How you doing?
Hello, I'm thriving in my vampire environment. How are you?
Excellent. Good. I am good. Well, for Adrien, why don't you tell us what is today's show about?
Well, this week's episode is the big destination because we thought, news on Earth continues to be super bleak. So we wanted to talk about our favorite subject, which is space. Before we kick things off, I want to ask Greg, do you think that there's life outside of Earth?
Oh, yes, 100%. And I'm hoping it comes here and saves us at some point. I've bounced back and forth between either they're going to destroy us or save us. At this point, I'll take the aliens. But yes.
At this point, I'll just take them arriving. I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah.
Well, you probably know this since you are also a big fan of space, but about a week ago, there was some pretty big news about the potential of life on one of our neighboring planets. And no, it's not Mars. It's the other one, Venus. So just to recap, last week there was a huge scientific breakthrough, and a team of astronomers have found the chemical fingerprint of phosphine on Venus in the form of clouds in Venus's atmosphere. And scientists are suggesting that this chemical may be tied to life, which is kind of surprising because Venus, we know it as kind of a hellscape where volcanic plains exceed about 800 degrees Fahrenheit, which can melt lead, and its clouds are made up of sulfuric acid, which is not exactly super friendly. However, the clouds are much less harsh than Venus's surface, and this could have allowed the chemical to survive. So regardless, the chemical phosphine has been found in 20 parts per billion in Venus's clouds. And if the gas is really there, then it indicates that Venus has got some sort of geological or chemical activity going on that could have created it and put that there. And in fact, there's a molecular astrophysicist at MIT, Clara Sousa Silva, who's been studying phosphine as a possible biosignature that could indicate the potential for life on planets that orbit distant stars. And she published an article in the Scientific American in 2019 called When We Finally Find Aliens, They Might Smell Terrible, because phosphine is a really horrid smelling gas. Probably it smells something like diapers and death is what it's been reported as. Yeah, really yummy smells. So anyways, she says in her article that different gases can indicate different biospheres. And one of these gases is, you guessed it, phosphine. So what does this all mean? It's going to take a lot more research to find out. Scientists are going to want to find out what kind of event caused the release of this gas into Venus's atmosphere. And before they can figure that out, the scientists need to go to the lab and really understand how microbes produce phosphine, as well as how long it's been up in Venus's clouds. In fact, climate models show that Venus could have sustained liquid water on its surface as recently as 1 billion years ago, which is quite a long time. So if phosphine shows evidence of some past ecosystem, it would have to have stayed in the clouds for over 1 billion years, which is kind of a tough case for scientists to solve. They're going to try. And, there's actually been quite a few attempts to study Venus's surface in the past. Only the Soviets have actually attempted any landings on Venus, and this is quite a ways back in the 60s and 80s. Most of these failed due to the extreme conditions on the planet. There were a couple successes in there, and then NASA did a couple flyby missions. Its first was in 1962, and NASA's Magellan later on did a mission to Venus, which was orbital in 1989. However, it burned up about 10 hours after in its atmosphere because, like I said, not exactly a very welcoming planet. Anyways, interest in Venus is resurfacing. There's actually a couple missions in the near future to solve its mysteries. And Jess, I'm going to hand it over to you to talk more about those missions coming up.
Awesome. So first up, we have Rocket Lab. And Rocket Lab is a private spaceflight company that builds and launches satellites. They say they are enabling companies, students, scientists, researchers, governments, and entrepreneurs to get their ideas to orbit. According to their website, they've actually launched 55 satellites so far. And now they're aiming to launch a private Venus mission in 2023 to hunt for signs of life in these clouds. So their CEO, Peter Beck, thinks that Venus research has been way underrated. And as soon as this phosphine discovery was announced, he quickly made the statement that they actually want to do many more missions. So what's the plan? This mission will involve two pieces of Rocket Lab hardware, the Electron booster and the Photon satellite bus. A photon will launch atop an electron and then make its way to Venus on a flyby trajectory. When the photon gets close, it will actually deploy a probe into the Venusian atmosphere. And as Adrien mentioned, researchers do think that a pocket of potential habitability remains in these clouds about 30 miles up. Here, temperatures and pressures are quite similar actually to those found on Earth at sea level, albeit with sulfuric acid. However, this particular cloud layer is where the scientists spotted this fingerprint of phosphine. So Rocket Lab wants to go explore this with great hopes that it turns into a greater Venusian exploration initiative in the future. We also have the Calypso Venus Scout, and it isn't yet under NASA consideration. It was written in a white paper submitted to the Committee on the Planetary Science Decadal Survey, which is the government's long-term planning process for future space missions. And we know one challenge is creating something that can survive long term on Venus's extreme surface, but its thick cloud layers do kind of pose challenges and could impede different measurements from like orbital missions. So to circumvent both of these challenges, the Calypso has two parts to it. Has a high altitude balloon and then also an instrumented descent module. So the idea is that the balloon would remain above the cloud layer where they say it has no need to be fortified to survive those high temperature and high pressure of Venus's lower atmospheres. It would then deploy that descent module down, attached via a tether to about 20 miles above the surface where the cloud layer breaks, and they hope to have, great visibility of the terrain. The module must actually come up and down come up every 5 to 6 hours because it's just too extreme, the conditions are. So they would actually reel it back in, let it cool down for a few hours, and then send it back out. And on its way up and down, it would actually scan the surface of Venus in visible and infrared wavelengths and with meter and centimeter scale resolution, which is awesome. This also makes it mobile, right? If you have a single mission, a single landing spot, you're definitely exploring the places around this area. But with this, you can actually, definitely get a 360 or some bigger, ability to scan more of the surface. And just to kind of quickly nail the importance of the Venus exploration here, Venus may have quite likely been temperate like Earth for 2 to 3 billion years. We're talking like 68 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So, that could stay in life. It might have. Did I say Mars? Did I say Earth?
No, I'm sorry. I said like Phoenix.
Oh, I was like, wait, did I say the wrong one? Yeah, like Phoenix. So, very livable, as Adrien knows. However, about 700 million years ago, there was some type of gigantic resurfacing event that took place, and it caused a runaway greenhouse effect, which evaporated all water on the surface and allowed carbon dioxide to essentially vent in uncontrolled at will. And it fried everything and even caused the plate tectonics to literally lock up. And they call Venus a twin of Earth. So understanding what happened on Venus is wildly critical for us to learn about the future of Earth.
It is awesome. That is so much information. Although I am going to say diapers and death is also a good analogy for 2020. But learning about Venus, I love that. That is great. So going from that, I know we also have, of course, Kick Stop It. And I have no idea what it is that we're talking about this week. So what is on the docket here?
Well, we found a really entertaining product called the TalkSocket. It's basically Alexa in a pop socket for your phone, because apparently unlocking your phone and talking to Alexa is too hard. It needs to be on the outside of your phone, listening to you at all times.
Yes. Yeah. I don't have
yeah,
time
that's-
otherwise.
You guys, there's a quote in here that says, "It may seem like magic that you can add an always listening Alexa to your iPhone that can bypass lock screen and Siri's dominance for voice interaction. Does that sound like magic we want?" No.
No,
Sounds
it
like
can
magic I
bypass
do
your
not
lock
want to
screen?
harness.
Sounds like sorcery I do not
No.
want.
That is not a good idea. All right, so this is the Kickstarter campaign. So they've got it both in there. I can see they've got the nice flashy light on it so that everybody knows they can unlock your phone. What is the price on this thing?
I actually didn't check that one. So let's find out together.
Oh, $59.
$59.
$59 is what it's.
I mean, that's
Wow.
probably about the price of a dot or so. So
Well, I mean, the goal was 25,000 and they're at 55,000. So clearly a lot more people want to be a lot more listened to.
A lot more people
To
want
each
their
their
phones to
own.
be broken into really easily. All right, so as usual, we have to decide here, is it to kickstart it or kickstop it? Jess, which way do you want to go?
I mean, I think it's clear we're kick-stopping this one. It's too much. We're doing too much now. Just dial it back a little.
It's too much.
That's all I'm asking.
It's too much. Also another good analogy. Adrien, what about you?
yep, it's a kick stop it for me, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with it too. I have to kick stop it. That's 3 kicks that we're going to do. So kick stopping it right there. Yeah, I don't need this. Nobody needs this.
No.
All right, so going from the TalkSocket, it's all kick stopped. Of course, though, we have to wrap up with some Charlie Cam.
That's
Oh,
right.
this is my
back in the
favorite.
tank.
As water aerobics again.
You know what? He's really enjoying his water aerobics class, his class pass.
His
He's having a great time.
Look at those hooves. Oh, Charles. A magnificent creature.
Awesome.
Body's feeling better.
Yes. Charlie there getting his water aerobics workout. Well, Adrien, Jess, as always, thank you so much. Another great edition of TBD.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.